Creative team creates amazing digital ads for the web. We also offer outstanding video production for your website, YouTube, Facebook, Hulu, and more. Let our Eagle team help you soar. Discover the power of today's radio and digital platforms.
KINA 910 AM and 107.5 FM is the #1 talk radio station in Salina, featuring Coffee Talk in the mornings with Sean Hannity and Mark Levin in the afternoons. KINA is your stadium for the world champion Kansas City Chiefs and the home of Southeast of Saline sports. Local news, sports, and talk. KINA 910 AM and 107.5 FM.
94.5 FM KG Prime is Salina's favorite classic pop hit station. Playing all the songs you love from the 80s and 90s, Prime is the at-work station you listen to all day long. Playing the greatest hits on earth. 94.5 Prime FM.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in here at the Topeka Invista Softball Complex in Topeka, Kansas. Tyler Henry alongside you, Olivia Bergmeyer producing and engineering today. This tournament has already claimed 3 victims, and this evening it will claim another as the 6-seeded Southeast of Saline Lady Trojans get set to play the 3-seed in Frontenac in a win-or-go-home contest. Earlier today, we saw victories for Holcomb, 3-0 over Marysville. Silver Lake got a 10-0 win over Cheney. And just a few minutes ago, Wichita Trinity polished off Osage City in a 16-0 rout late in the 7th. That leaves one final game. We'll have it for you here in just a moment. But first, we will hear from Southeast of Saline Lady Trojan head coach Pesha Potacek. That conversation when we come back. You're tuned in to coverage of Southeast of Saline's state tournament run. And it's right here on Salina Post, courtesy of our friends at Asaria Oil and Hardware.
Flaps. It takes hard work, passion and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Saline Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Saline Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalineRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome back in here to the Salina Post pregame show. It's the quarterfinal round of the 3A state softball tournament, and we're just in time to catch up with Southeast of Saline head coach Petra Potacek. Coach Potacek, first and foremost, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
So your team is now making your third consecutive 3A state softball tournament appearance. I know that getting back here was a big goal for this team, but now that you've done the deed to get here, how does it feel to be back in Topeka as one of the last 8 teams playing this week?
We're super excited to be in the state tournament again. The logistics are a little bit different with Topeka as opposed to Manhattan. We've gotten used to heading to Manhattan we've been to Manhattan a few times. So just the logistical side is a little different, going a little further this time.
Well, and your team enters bracket play here at 22-3. Normally, that would put you near the top of the bracket, but this year you guys come in as the 6th seed in this year's 3A tournament. I know that to beat the best, you have to beat the best, but how do you feel about what might be the most loaded bracket left in the state?
I'm excited to be a part of it. I think the girls are excited to be a part of it and are hungry, and we believe that, when we're playing up to our potential, we're as good as anybody. So we're up for the challenge.
Well, and these girls have done a lot of winning, not only during their time at SES, but also as members of the Salina Adrenaline for a long time. How much confidence comes not only with the success that you guys have found this season, but, the experience knowing that they've been at state before?
I think it's huge. I think that there is, even if the kids and even the coaches, even if we don't know it in the moment, first bring with them some pressure and some anxiety. And I think doing it again, you just have a better idea of what to expect. You have a better handle on what your emotions are going to be like. You have a better handle on the adrenaline rush associated with competing on a larger stage, and I think all of that just helps you be more prepared when you've done it before.
Well, and speaking of being more prepared, your team has sought out tough opponents all season long. You've taken on Wamego, Wellington, Clay Center, some others in the mix as well. But, do you feel like those games have kind of prepared you for the moment still ahead of you this week?
Absolutely. And, like you said, we seek out competitive games because we want to be pushed, and we want to see pitchers that are going to challenge us. We want our pitchers to face batters that are going to challenge them. So not only that, but we compete against ourselves a lot. Having a pretty deep pitching staff lets us hit against ourselves a little more in practice than maybe a squad that only has, 1 or 2 pitchers. So I think that is to our advantage also.
You and I have talked throughout the course of the year about, just some of the pressure that this team has put on itself in years past. But I think the thing that stuck out to me most, you said going into regionals, this team just felt calm. Is that still kind of the sense that you get as you guys head into, elimination softball at the state tournament this week?
It really is. The girls straight up told me that when things were a little bit on the line against Hoisington in regionals, some things didn't go our way. We didn't swing it quite as well as we had been. And we had bases loaded with 1 out and the top of the order coming out. And if I'm honest, my heart was beating pretty hard in my chest. But multiple girls have said to me, "Oh, we weren't worried at all. We were fine. We knew we had it. We were fine." And I think that shows a lot of growth and a lot of confidence in each other. So that was exciting. One girl specifically said, as soon as that ball was up in the air to JC, I thought, oh, we're done. Just knew JC's got this. Just knew Lexi's got this under control. So I do believe they have 100% confidence in each other.
Well, and that leads me into my next question as well, because, at the 4A, the 5A, and the 6A level, you only have to win 2 games to get to state, but down in 3A and 1-2A, you have to win 3. So, when you take last week's matchups as kind of a 3-game package deal, what did you like the most from what you saw out of your team in those 3 wins?
Probably just our resilience. We were slower to start in all 3 of those games than we had been, but we still executed and did the things that we needed to do, and again, just the ultimate confidence in themselves and in each other.
This is a group of seniors that's been playing together since many of them were 3 years old. I know we followed the story throughout the course of the year, and you've been with them every step of the way as their coach. What does this one final ride at the state tournament mean to this group?
It's kind of an interesting question. I'm not sure that they have even processed it as one final ride. I think that they've been playing this game for so long, and they've loved this game for so long, that this is just what we do. I think that to some degree, there's a mentality of this is what we do. So excitement to be at the state tournament, absolutely. Like, the moms had some really fun activities for us last night. Our cars are all painted up. We're super excited. But underlying all of that, I think we come back to that idea of calm, and this is what we do.
Absolutely. Well, and you've been there before too, which, like we said before, it certainly helps. But, taking a look at the task in front of you, 8 teams remain here on day 1 of the state tournament, all of them fantastic in their own right. From a softball perspective, as a team that's been here before, what are the softball things that have to continue to go well for you guys to keep winning in such a loaded tournament like this?
We have to just play clean. We have to be able to execute whichever facet of our game is the one or the combination that's going to get us to playing on Friday. I have supreme confidence in our ability to hit the ball. I have supreme confidence in our ability to small ball when necessary. I think our softball IQ, especially on the base paths, is high. So as long as we stay within ourselves and play the game the way we play the game, I think we're in great shape.
Well, and your first round opponent will be the 3 seed in Frontenac, a team that comes in batting, I believe, over 400 on the year as a unit. When you have a chance to scout them on film, what are some of the biggest things that stand out to you just about the way that they play and some of their strengths?
They swing aggressively. They swing early. They also have a small ball component and a couple of speedy little slappers. Again, we looked at Frontenac. We wanted to have an idea of what we were facing, but our core belief is that we're going to do things the way we do things, no matter who we're facing, and let them try to stop us, just like we're trying to stop them.
Well, and last question for you, Coach, and I think you kind of touched on a few of these points a moment ago, but specifically here in round 1 against Frontenac, what are your biggest keys to the game? What does Southeast have to do to advance to the round or to advance to the semifinals tomorrow and secure 2 more games on Championship Friday?
I'm a firm believer in jumping on them early. We talked about winning warm-up. Have a good, clean warm-up that just makes it clear that we've got it together and we're here to play. Same thing is true of the first couple of innings. Getting a run or 2 on the board early has huge mental implications. So I would like to be able to, play clean defense and jump on them offensively early to shift the pressure decidedly to their side. But I also have confidence that if we start slowly, that there's no give up in any of these girls. And they'll fight back from whatever we face.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you again so much for stopping by. Best of luck to your Lady Trojans this week.
Thank you so much.
Once again, that was Pesha Potacek, head coach of your SES softball team. We'll step away, but first pitch is right around the corner, and coverage of Southeast of Saline State Run is brought to you by Asaria Oil and Hardware.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Saline is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits, APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
For over 90 years, when people go car shopping, they've been coming to Marshall Motors in Salina. Hi, this is Dan at Marshall Motors. The world has changed, but the way we do business remains the same. We promise you the right price, no pressure, and to be your trusted dealership for sales and service. For over 90 years, we've been treating people the way we want to be treated and watching them drive away with a smile and a great ride. Come see us in South Salina at Marshall Motors. We keep life moving.
When does normal acute pain become abnormal chronic pain? Chronic pain can be one of two types, nociceptive and neuropathic. Each type differs based on what causes it, what it feels like, and what treatments may relieve it. Neuropathic pain can often be managed by a therapy called neurostimulation or spinal cord stimulation. If you suffer from chronic pain, ask your primary care physician for a referral to the Salina Pain Clinic. Our pain specialists will discuss the right options to manage your pain. Online at salinapainclinic.org.
Gabe with Sage Products in Salina, offering industrial strength products that get the job done right. We are featuring hospital-grade disinfectant sprays, wipes, and hand sanitizers to keep you safe this time of year. We carry toilet paper with a large assortment of hand towels. Check out our private line of colorful products like Mom's Streak-Free Glass Cleaner or our friendly Amazing Green Bowl Cleaner. Go online to sageselects.com, visit our 9th Street location in Salina, or call 309-1919.
Welcome back in here to the Topeka Invista Softball Complex. It's a new site for a familiar final tournament. This being moved from Manhattan the last couple of years here to Topeka, but a gorgeous day for some state softball action and the final day of the quarterfinal round set to get underway as the 3-seeded Frontenac Lady Raiders get set to take on the 6-seeded Lady Trojans of Southeast of Saline. Hello everybody and welcome back in here in Topeka. Got a great one on tap for you today. These two teams could not be any closer on paper. It'll be fun to see what they can do against one another on the field. Let's quickly introduce you to the two sides as they come in, but first, let's take a look back at this bracket. This might be the most loaded bracket, at least in terms of raw wins and losses, in the entire state of Kansas going in this week. You're talking about a field where the 6th seed in Southeast of Saline comes in at 22-3 without a single loss to a fellow 3A opponent. You want to go all the way down to the 7th seed. You're still talking about a Wichita Trinity team that not only came in at 20-4 today, but put a whooping on Osage City in a quarterfinal victory. Southeast of Saline, for the first time in their entire postseason run, will be the road team. They still come out rocking the all-purple pinstripe jerseys, white numerals trimmed in black across the back. Meanwhile, for Frontenac, it is the white tops, black pants with black numerals trimmed in white across the back. First pitch is underway, and we are as well. It's a strike, and with that, let's meet the starting lineup for the Southeast of Saline Lady Trojans. Lexi Jacobson will lead things off from her spot as today's starting pitcher. She will be followed by the catcher in Maddie Harris in the 2-seed, shortstop Brielle Potachik in the 3-hole, and DP Brenna Baird in the cleanup spot today. Batting fifth, it's your first baseman Kimber Ogrzolka, then center fielder Abby Wyatt, second baseman Brooklyn Adams, right fielder Avery Kinkelar, and left fielder JC Berghardt. Bringing up the back of the Southeast lineup today, your flex is Addison Rohr, who will play third base. They will have a tall task today, facing off against the only pitcher on the Frontenac roster to toss more than 5 innings this year. It's Avery Johnson, the junior sensation. She comes in having pitched 158 of this team's 163 innings this year. Her 1-2 delivery to Jacobson will miss high to even the count at 2-2. Avery Johnson has a 1.10 ERA, a 0.64 whip this year. How about 205 strikeouts to only 29 walks and 7 hit batsmen? Johnson has been phenomenal this year, and this is a fun battle here. Jacobson takes 3 straight pitches after falling behind 3-2 to battle her way back for the first full count of the day. Jacobson trying to get some of that electric southeast speed on the base pass, and she will hit a little nubber to Sullivan at second. The glove flip is there, and it's one down for Frontenac here in the top of the first. With that, let's go ahead and meet the starters in the field for this Frontenac team. Your starting catcher today for Frontenac is Maddie Call. The two Sullivan sisters take up the right side of the infield, as you've got one at first and one at second. You've got Lee at short, Hutchinson over at the hot corner at third. Your outfield from left to right consists of Lejotis, Beeman, and Sullivan. Those three will patrol the deepest parts of the outfield for the Lady Raiders today. At the plate now for southeast of Saline, it's Maddie Harris. These are two teams that you're going to hear a lot of insane numbers for today as far as the offenses are concerned. This pitch taken to even the count up at 1-1. Southeast hits .375 as a team. They slug 524 as a team. This is a Lady Raider squad that's right about in the same area. .398 for a team batting average, .540 for a team slugging percentage. And while both teams have spread it evenly throughout the course of that lineup, Maddie Harris has been phenomenal this year for southeast of Saline, the senior, batting .457 on the year. Harris now looking at a 2-1 count. Johnson back in the circle, ready to go here. Will rear back and deliver the 2-1 pitch. It is shot foul down the line, and the count goes even at 2-2 as Harris exchanging a laugh and a grin there with her teammate Brielle Potacek in the on-deck circle. Of course, with this being the finale, in case you missed the first couple of games or in case you weren't with us pregame, already 3 teams have been eliminated from this bracket. Continue to keep you up to date on all of that as this goes on, as here it is Maddie Harris chasing a high rise ball. And there is the first strikeout of the day for Avery Johnson. It's 2 down for Frontenac here in the first. That'll bring Brielle Potacek to the plate. While we've got a moment, also want to remind you that southeast of Saline is under the instruction of head coach Pesha Potacek. And, of course, Frontenac under the direction of head coach Cassie Rooms. Had a chance to chat with both head coaches before this game began, and I've got to agree with Coach Rooms. I think no matter what, when it comes to this state tournament, you look at the teams that are left, not expecting many shootouts. This is a pitcher's type of tournament, and that has certainly been the case here early on as, Avery Johnson heating up, wasting no time, and getting ahead of Brielle Potacek 0-2. Potacek, a .492 hitter on the year, getting on base at a .578 clip, and cuts right through a good breaking ball. It's 2 strikeouts for Johnson. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Frontenac, and it will be the Lady Raiders back-to-back when we return. You're tuned in to state tournament action here on the Salina Post Sports Network.
Your next visit to the doctor for an upcoming procedure or surgery should start with a conversation about Salina Surgical Hospital. Hi, this is Geraldine Diedrich, and we are truly committed to fostering your health and well-being. From outpatient procedures to inpatient stays, you will
time activities, from the smallest lawnmower tires to passenger tires, farm tires, and the largest truck tires. Call Commercial Tire for repairs that aren't tire related. Our automotive and diesel mechanics will fix it right the first time. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
Welcome back in here to the Salina Post.
Opus Plasma Skin Resurfacing at Salina Medical Aesthetics is similar to traditional laser skin treatments. It uses thermal energy to produce anti-aging results as opposed to traditional laser energy. There's minimal downtime, and each session only takes about 45 minutes. Most patients see a noticeable difference with just one procedure. Treat moderate to deep wrinkles, fine lines, sagging skin, rough patches, poor skin tone, and sunspots. Opus is a fantastic treatment for anti-aging. For a free consultation, contact Salina Medical Aesthetics and learn more at salinamedesthetics.org.
Welcome back in here to the Topeka Invista Softball Complex. Tyler Henry alongside you. Olivia Bergmeyer handling all of our production and camera duties. Apologize for some slight technical difficulties there, but I believe we are back up after a brief snafu. Boy, just a gorgeous day for some softball. It is 83 degrees, but I must say, having the lake directly behind us and the cool breeze blowing up right into straightaway center field, awfully nice here in Topeka. For southeast of Saline, it will be the heart of the order due up here as Brenna Baird, Kimber Ogerzolka, and Abby Wyatt are the next to grab a bat for southeast of Saline and try their luck against Avery Johnson. In case you're wondering about the field dimensions today, it's going to be 200 feet to left, straightaway center, and right. Even Stevens all around the ballpark Southeast of Saline licking their chops at the possibility of maybe picking up one of their rare home runs. Again, this is not an SES team that historically has batted for much power. They're more about manufacturing their runs this year. Only 3 home runs this season compared to 176 RBI, but 123 stolen bases for SES. They get them on, they get them over, and they get them in. Step 1 of that operation, easier said than done, though, against Avery Johnson. You got to think, Southeast, like Frontenac, has capitalized on a lot of walks, a lot of hit batsmen, and a lot of errors. Those are 3 things you're just not going to see a whole lot of today. SES needing to find ways to get their own bats aboard. Brenna Baird trying to do just that. Instead, will swing right through a ball with some good movement to it, and it is 3 straight strikeouts here for Avery Johnson to get things to Kimber Ogerzolka in the Southeast order. Ogerzolka, like a majority of this lineup, batting well coming into this year's state tournament. The junior, the first in the order, batting .323 on the year, slugging .462. We'll take the first pitch in for a called strike at the knees. Of course, for Southeast of Saline, this is one final ride for a senior class that's been playing softball together under Pesha Potachik since they were just 3 years old. One of the coolest stories we've tracked throughout the course of the year. And a squad that has decided as the Salina Adrenaline summer team to forgo one last summer season. Whatever the Lady Trojans do at this state tournament, this is it for a group that, again, has been together since they were just barely old enough to hold a bat. Avery Johnson cares not for any of that. How about 4 straight strikeouts for the junior sensation? And Frontenac quickly with 2 down here for Abby Wyatt of Southeast of Saline. Wyatt, of course, a big part of the reason that SES had the success that they did at this year's regional tournament. 7 RBI at regionals, was just a RBI machine, but here batting with nobody on as both offenses struggling to get it going against 2 of the premier pitchers in the state. I think maybe the most impressive thing about Avery Johnson's got nothing to do with her ridiculous numbers. It's that she's only a junior. And she has been doing this throughout the course of her career. Don't forget, as this is slapped down the line, that is off the umpire, and that may have just saved a base. Abby Wyatt is going to be in at first with a single. That ball ended up going off the knee of Angelo Fears. Of course, we hope that he is okay. But Southeast of Saline is going to strike first, at least in terms of getting somebody on. It's a single with 2 down for Abby Wyatt to bring up Brooklyn Adams. But to go back and finish that thought on Avery Johnson, Frontenac was the 3A state champions 2 years ago, and a young freshman, Avery Johnson, was the lone pitcher on the team by the midway mark of the season. So came in at just 15 or 16, led her team to a state championship, is trying to do the same this year, and then Frontenac hopes they can turn around and do it again next year. This is a Lady Raider team that has only 2 seniors on the roster that they will be graduating this year, Abby Beeman and Annie Lee. The rest of this team will be returning for Frontenac for the 2025 campaign. Brooklyn Adams at the plate here for Southeast of Saline, 1-1 the count. Johnson winds it up, delivers the pitch, swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2 here on Brooklyn Adams. The further into this lineup you get for Southeast of Saline, generally the younger it gets, but a senior-heavy front of the order. Adams, another of those seniors, one of that group for the Salina Adrenaline, batting .267 on the year. Right now trying to keep the inning going for SES. Good inside pitch. You see the frame job there for call, but that is not going to be enough to fool home plate umpire Kathy Singles as the count goes even at 2-2. Right away, you notice Johnson's got good velocity, but she's also got really good location and movement on all of her pitches. And here is going to get a looking strike 3. 5 strikeouts out of 6 total outs recorded for Avery Johnson. Frontenac cruising. We're still scoreless. Lady Raiders back to bat when we return. You are listening to coverage of Southeast of Saline's state tournament run, brought to you by our friends at Bennington State Bank.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
Heart of the order to lead off the second inning here for Frontenac. It'll be Abby Beeman, Avery Johnson, and Tenley Sullivan. And the first pitch here from Lexi Jacobson, missing down and away to the Frontenac center fielder. I want to say a special thank you to Keith and Lori Blake of Asaria Oil and Hardware for their support of Lady Trojan Athletics, today's presenting sponsor for this game and for all games of Southeast of Saline's postseason run. Boy, very quickly there, you see Coach Cassie Rooms in her 17th season wanting to come out and have a word with her batter, and it was a quick word. Had something to tell Abby Beeman. Not sure what it was, but Beeman was able to get a hold of the next pitch and foul it off as the count goes to 2-1. Lexi Jacobson was able to work 3 infield pop-ups in the home half of the first. Here, tries to get a drop ball, but there's not enough drop to it. And the count goes to 3-1, a dream hitter's count on Abby Beeman. Beeman has been a slugging machine. 917, her slugging percentage, 49 runs driven in. And here takes strike 2. An emphatically called strike 2 from Kathy Singles there. Looked like a punch-out call, but yeah, the count will go full here at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jacobson still hunting her first strikeout of the day. Payoff pitch on the way. This ball is going to be lifted foul down the left field line and back out of play. Of course, in our area, we have got 4 teams competing at their respective state tournaments, and the shock of the day came from Class 5A earlier as the Salina Central baseball team. They came through as the 16 seed, won all the way through regionals, so they entered as the 8 seed at state, and they knock off Bishop Carroll 7-2 to advance to the semifinal round tomorrow. Here it's Abby Beeman getting aboard with a rare Lexi Jacobson walk, and Avery Johnson will come to bat now with a chance to aid in her own cause and give herself some run support. Boy, for as excellent as Avery Johnson is in the circle, you would think maybe not called upon to do too much with the battle, though here the catch made by Addison Rohr, the throw back to first, not in time. That's a heads-up base running play by Abby Beeman, not to get doubled off, as the bunt attempt no good for Avery Johnson. That'll bring up Tenley Sullivan. But Johnson, to go back and finish that thought, has been just as good at the plate. Again, this Lady Raider lineup is good across the board, as this pitch misses high here to Tenley Sullivan. That's something that we heard from Coach Rooms, too. She said that in her 17 seasons as the head coach here at Frontenac, this might be the most consistent lineup she has ever had. 1 through 9, always a danger to get on, to drive somebody in. There's good pop in this order, 1 through 9. Again, you look at a team that is slugging .540 across the board. And a big part of that this year has been Tenley Sullivan, who takes this pitch for a called strike and falls behind in the count at 1-2. I think the other thing that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on in this game, these are 2 excellent defensive catchers. And historically, 2 catchers that you just don't run on. This one misses high here, but Southeast of Saline, boy, they've made their name on the base pass, 123 stolen bases. Frontenac has swiped 118 bags. Neither team has allowed more than 20 stolen bases on the year. This ball is hit foul down the line. Once again, Coach Rooms coming over, having a word with Tenley Sullivan. We've seen the same out of Pesha Potachik. Boy, is it going to be a fun chess match to watch those 2 coach against each other here today as well. 2 excellent teams looking to advance to the semifinal round tomorrow, looking to play for a spot in the state championship game here in Topeka. 2-2 from Lexi Jacobson. That's taken the other way. That's going to get down in front of Avery Kinkelar. Everybody moves up 1 station, and it's the first hit of the day off of Lexi Jacobson with 1 down to bring up Skylar Hutchinson. So Abby Beeman will slide over to second. Sullivan moves up to first, and Skylar Hutchinson will grab a bat. And this is what I'm talking about when you talk about the consistency of this Frontenac lineup. Hutchinson bats in the 7 hole. She hits .320. She has driven in 19 on the year. And here we'll take the first pitch inside for ball one as you hear some of the teammates in the Frontenac dugout pleading with her to wear it. But Hutchinson will stand back in and get ready for this next pitch. Fouls it away, evens the count at a ball and a strike. Boy, great crowd on hand here, not only up in the bleachers, but also filling the spots where you see the lawn chairs set up down both lines, also setting up lawn chairs out in the outfield. I mean, there is not an empty seat in sight. And for good reason. This has been an excellent tournament so far. It's been one of the most loaded tournaments across the board. You look at the teams that made it here. Holcomb was 25-0. They knocked off the only team that did not have 19 or more wins coming into the bracket in Marysville, and they only beat them 3-0. As caught lunging at this one and fouling it down the line is Skylar Hutchinson. So Holcomb moves to 26-0 with a 3-0 win over Marysville. Silver Lake picks up a win 10-0 over Cheney. They move to 23-3. And then, of course, Wichita Trinity moves to 21-4. They blasted Osage City 16-2. They picked up 8 runs in the final inning of that contest, and they will be the team awaiting the winner of this one tomorrow at 1 p.m. That'll be the second of 4 games to be played here in Topeka tomorrow afternoon. That'll be the second of 2 semifinals to set this year's 3A title match. 2-2 from Jacobson popped up and back out of play. Count will stay right where it's at. Skylar Hutchinson continuing to fight off pitch after pitch. And that's the other thing with Frontenac. I know we keep showering praise on both of these lineups. Both teams so excellent. But for Frontenac, 79 walks to only 85 strikeouts on the year. Those are great numbers. Here's one back to Jacobson. She's going to flip to third for 1. They will take the fielder's choice and cut down Abby Beeman, southeast of Saline. That is a good heads-up play. Only one more out left to record, and it'll have to come against catcher Maddie Call, batting down in the 8-hole here today. So Jacobson gets the ball to roar. That's the out for Southeast. And just realizing now with all the other state action going on, didn't even get a chance to introduce you to the Southeast of Saline defense. Let's go around the horn now. Maddie Harris is your starting catcher. It's Kimber Ogrzolka over at first. Brooklyn Adams at second. Brielle Potacek at short. Addison Rohr tending to the hot corner at third base today. This pitch gets by, and they're going to say that hit Maddie Call. So it's a hit by pitch to load the bases for Ella Sullivan. Really quickly to round out your starting 9. It is Berghardt out in left, Abby Wyatt in center, Avery Kinkelar in right. But right now, Tenley Sullivan aboard at third, Skylar Hutchinson at second, Maddie Call at first. And Southeast in a bit of a jam here with the 9-hole hitter Ella Sullivan coming to the plate. Sullivan bats just .239. She slugs just .246. 7 RBI on the team, but even Sullivan, with all her great defense, has come back. Heart of the order due up for the Lady Trojans. It will be Brenna Baird, Kimber Ogrzolka, and Abby Wyatt as the first pitch is in for a called strike here to Brenna Baird. Both teams have made the trek out here to Topeka, about a good 2.5 hour drive from Salina, so about 2.5 to 3 hours from down in Gypsum. Southeast of Saline, of course, the combination of Gypsum, Assaria, Bridgeport, Kip, a couple of other smaller communities to the, naturally, the southeast of Saline County. The 8th strikeout of the day for Avery Johnson, who continues to cruise through this fall. Some dark clouds starting to shade in here, covering up the sun. Still plenty of daylight left to work with here in Manhattan. In case you're looking at those clouds and wondering about the chance of rain, nothing in the fourth here, hoping to keep things dry in Topeka. 1-1 here on Kimber Ogrzolka. 1-1 here on Kimber Ogrzolka. Ogrzolka 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. Both of these teams getting their only runs of the contest in the third inning. And all 3 runs manufactured off of sacrifice bunts as a called strike at the knees makes it a 1-2 count. Been a big zone, but an even zone between both teams. Again, both with 2 singles to bring up Brooklyn Adams with 2 away. This is the exact same start to the inning as what we had back in the second. It was a strikeout of Baird, a strikeout of Ogrzolka, and a single for Abby Wyatt with 2 down. Brooklyn Adams at the plate now. She struck out looking last time up here, slaps one. That gets over the glove there of Sullivan. Wyatt is going to hold up at second. That was a good heads-up play by the other of the 3 Sullivans in the field, out in right field, to get that ball to second base. If Adams had overrun that, or if Wyatt had overrun that by a second, she was out. These are the kinds of things that Southeast and really everybody has not seen a lot of that Frontenac will try to get you with. But how about the heads-up play from Brooklyn Adams? She scored to bunt. That pulled Sullivan in just enough that she was able to get it over her head. First pitch in for a called strike here to Avery Kinkelar. Kinkelar today is 0 for 1. She laid down a beauty of a bunt back in the 3rd inning, but was called out trying to dash her way to first. Southeast of Saline, back-to-back singles. Runners on first and second. The 0-1 pitch is fouled away here by Kinkelar. Kinkelar, another junior in this lineup, batting .280, slugging .440. It's played in a pretty small sample size for Southeast of Saline, just 4 driven in on 7 hits. But she is a good speedster. She's coming to score 19 runs for the Lady Trojans, and her bat has come alive in the most important part of the year. The 0-2. Big swing and a miss. Avery Johnson picks up her 10th strikeout of the day and strands 2 Lady Trojans aboard. But Frontenac still trails in this one 2-1. We go to the home half of inning number 4, halfway home from the quarterfinal round. Coverage today brought to you by our friends at Bennington State Bank.
Springtime is here and we're on the go. Visit Commercial Tire Center and get ready to roll. We're driving more and more and getting ready for springtime. Lawnmower tires to passenger tires, farm tires, and the largest truck tires. Call Commercial Tire for repairs that aren't tire related. Our automotive and diesel mechanics will fix it right the first time. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Saline Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Saline Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
Well, welcome back into what has been a battle for the final spot on Championship Friday here in Topeka. Southeast of Saline leading Frontenac halfway through this game, but only by 1. It'll be Tenley Sullivan, Skylar Hutchinson, and Maddie Call to lead things off for the Lady Raiders. And the first pitch is in for a called strike from Lexi Jacobson. Well, you know, for Frontenac, no matter what happens, Avery Johnson is the arm that they will ride the rest of the way. You have to wonder, that might be the same for Southeast, as this ball's going to be caught on the run by Avery Kinkelar, showing off the speed out in right. That is a huge catch for Kinkelar, and it's 1 down for the Lady Trojans here in the 4th. But for Southeast of Saline, they have gone with a 2-pitcher tandem this year of Lexi Jacobson and Brenna Baird. Baird's been excellent this year as well, but Jacobson has been just a little bit better. You wonder if Southeast might stick with her. Of course, they won't have a chance to find out if they don't find a way to eliminate what I think is a team good enough to be the 1 seed this year. Frontenac, boy, I was impressed with them on paper. I was more impressed when I saw their stats. I was even more impressed when I talked to Coach Rooms. This is a team that's been getting it done all season long. Here it's a pop-up drifting into the outfield. Ooh, almost a miscommunication there between Brooklyn Adams and Brielle Potachik, but Potachik able to glove it. And it's 2 down for Maddie Call, who was hit by a pitch back in inning number 2. Again, opportunities to score runs, hits, base runners, you name it, they've come at a premium here today. So far, 4 runners stranded for the Lady Raiders of Frontenac, and you got to think back to that 2nd inning. They had the bases loaded. Call got hit by the pitch. She took her base at first. But then Ella Sullivan went down on strike 3, Lexi Jacobson's only strikeout of the day. Here, it's a good-looking pitch. They're going to say inside. Count goes to 2-0 as the sun has completely disappeared behind the clouds here in Topeka. 2-0 the count to Maddie Call. Pitch on the way. Little bit high, brought down. Count goes to 3-0. Call going to be taking all the way here. In case you're wondering, Maddie Call this season has walked 6 times to 11 strikeouts and takes strike 1 here as the count goes to 3-1. Jacobson back to work in the circle. 3-1 pitch on the way. Fouled back to the screen. Count goes full. Call right now trying to be the table setter, trying to get things back to the top of the order. Of course, Ella Sullivan in the on-deck circle will be the next to grab a bat. Call's been good about this all year. The payoff on the way, able to stick with a high rise ball up and keep the count at 3-2. This is a Frontenac team as well that graduated 5 seniors. They basically had an all-new infield. When you look at the players that they had coming back, payoff here is going to be popped up. That stays on the infield. Jacobson will concede to Ogrzolka, and southeast of Saline picks up 3 more critical outs to get this game to inning number 5. We'll step away when we come back. It's the 5th. It's southeast up to bat. 2-1 lead for the Lady Trojans. Coverage today brought to you by our friends at Assaria Oil and Hardware.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC. APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the Heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Salina is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits, APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
Welcome back in here to Topeka, Kansas. Tyler Henry alongside you. Olivia Bergmeyer handling all of our production and camera duties today. Olivia doing a great job again despite some technical difficulties here. We are doing our best in Topeka. Keep it locked right here, and if you do have the issue with the stream, just hit refresh. We'll have it back up as quickly as what we can. Coverage today brought to you by our friends at the Bennington State Bank, also by the Southeast of Saline Education Foundation, Kelly Kitchener Shelter Insurance, McKime Services, Anesthesia Associates, and Appliance Center. For the Lady Trojans, it will be the 9, 1, and 2-hole hitters coming up to bat now. JC Berghardt, Lexi Jacobson, and Maddie Harris. And Berghardt is going to swing at the first pitch that she sees, takes that, and it's going to get down underneath the mitt there of Sullivan at second, who just had to rush that a little bit. And Southeast is going to have a base runner as a result. That's the first error of the day committed by Frontenac, and it puts the leadoff runner aboard for the leadoff hitter in the lineup. Jacobson so far today, 1 for 2 with a double, a ground out, and one of the 2 Southeast runs scored. Here scores to bunt, gets it down. It's another beauty. It's going to be fielded by Hutchinson. Throw to first just in time, but the sacrifice bunt works to perfection. Lexi Jacobson does her job. JC Berghardt up to second, 1 down for Maddie Harris. This has been a good back-and-forth battle. Harris, of course, was the one to lay down the bunt that got both Jacobson and J.C. Berghardt in last time around. And I'll tell you what, Frontenac, we heard from Coach Rooms, they pride themselves on defense. There have been 3 bunts today that I think are infield singles for anyone else, against anyone else. But Frontenac, between Hutchinson, Johnson, and Call, they'll let you lay down a sack bunt. You're not legging it out at first. I mean, these are some of the fastest players in the state for Southeast of Saline. They could have run track if they wanted to. And Frontenac is throwing people out at first like it's going out of style. 0-1 the count here to Maddie Harris. Still looking for the first official hit of her day. Does have both RBI, though, for Southeast. Pulls the bat back, swings away. Count goes to 0-2. Harris going to have to get defensive. Got a score update for you. I'll pass that along in just a moment. Again, keeping up with all of our area schools and Don't forget, too, if you want all the latest on Salina area action, be sure to go give us a look at salinapost.com or follow us on Twitter at @postsports. This is a called strike 3 to Maddie Harris, who can only watch it go by. That is the 11th strikeout of the day for Avery Johnson, and it will bring up someone she's already gotten twice in Brielle Potacek. Just to give you another idea of how excellent Avery Johnson is, not that you need it. Again, I think her pitching today and her numbers speak for themselves, but just in case you're looking for a little something extra, get that to you after this first pitch that'll miss high to Brielle Potacek. Potacek came into the state tournament with 17 walks and only 7 strikeouts on the season, and Johnson has gotten her twice. Potacek looking for a big revenge at bat here. Johnson with a 1-0 count, settles in, looks in for the sign, delivers the pitch. That'll miss at the knees, and the count goes to 2-0. Score update from across the way, the Abilene Cowboys, the 2 seed in this year's 4A state baseball tournament. They eliminate Rose Hill 5-1, your final score. They will play tomorrow on Salina Post at 1:15 p.m. 2-0 pitch, misses high and inside, and the count goes to 3-0 here on Brielle Potacek. And boy, when you look at the numbers, about the only thing more rare than a Brielle Potacek strikeout is an Avery Johnson walk. But she's at risk of doing that here. Potacek going to be taken all the way. Johnson knows it. There's the free strike for Avery Johnson. Not going to miss that spot, well, ever, more than likely. Like I said, Avery Johnson, one of the premier pitchers in the state of Kansas, going to be returning for her senior season next year. The 3-1. Swung on, tipped foul. Count goes full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. We have already seen in this game the kind of speed that J.C. Berghardt runs with, and boy, is she just itching for an opportunity to try to come in and score a second run today from the 9-hole. Potacek, though, going to have to put this in play. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. There it is. 12 strikeouts on the day for Avery Johnson. And the Lady Trojans strand another, but they still lead it 2-1. Here as we go to the home half of inning number 6. Back with more when we return on the Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Game of the Week.
For over 90 years, when people go car shopping, they've been coming to Marshall Motors in Salina. Hi, this is Dan at Marshall Motors. The world has changed, but the way we do business remains the same. We promise you the right price, no pressure, and to be your trusted dealership for sales and service. For over 90 years, we've been treating people the way we want to be treated and watching them drive away with a smile and a great ride. Come see us in South Salina at Marshall Motors. We keep life moving.
When does normal acute pain become abnormal chronic pain? Chronic pain can be one of 2 types, nociceptive and neuropathic. Each type differs based on what causes it, what it feels like, and what treatments may relieve it. Neuropathic pain can often be managed by a therapy called neurostimulation or spinal cord stimulation. If you suffer from chronic pain, ask your primary care physician for a referral to the Salina Pain Clinic. Our pain specialist will discuss the right options to manage your pain. Online at salinapainclinic.org.
Welcome back in here to Topeka, Kansas. Tyler Henry alongside you. It will be the 9-1 and 2-hole hitters to lead off the 5th here for Frontenac in what has been a pitcher's duel from start to finish. And the first pitch here taken for a called strike. It's been differing styles between these pitchers today. Avery Johnson, a high-volume strikeout pitcher, hunts him down, wants to get your swing and miss off your bat. Meanwhile, Alexi Jacobson has just been frustrating this Frontenac lineup with a lot of weak contact and a lot of pitches up. That's something you got to be careful with the kind of power that Frontenac boasts, but at the same time, it has led to a lot of infield pop-ups and a lot of outfield flyouts. Either way, the count 1-2 here on Ella Sullivan, who is the kind of batter that I think would probably be in the top 6, maybe the top 7 of a lot of lineups in this state, but of course right now is batting in the 9-hole for Frontenac. She's got excellent speed, though. If she finds her way aboard, Southeast might be in a little trouble. She's going to get under this. It's popped up, stays on the infield, and the catch is made by Brooklyn Adams. Southeast of Saline records the first out here, but top of the order due up next for Frontenac with Maddie Lejatis coming to the plate. You look at Southeast of Saline's outs in this game. They have been able to get a lot up, like I said. Matter of fact, if you want to put a number to that, there has only been one ground out in this entire game. Everything else has been hit up in the air. And you just got to make sure that it's not going to clear the 200 sign in the outfield. That is a threat with a lot of this Frontenac lineup. Lejatis does not have a home run this year. Matter of fact, most of the big power numbers are congregated among 5 Lady Raiders. Annie Lee and Abby Beeman with 5 home runs apiece. Avery Johnson and Grace McLaren with 3 each. And actually, quick correction, 3 home runs for Annie Lee, 5 for Skylar Hutchinson. So those have been your primary damage dealers in terms of the power numbers. But again, everybody capable of getting on, getting around, and getting in, especially Lejatis, who gets on and runs with great speed. 2-1 to Lejatis is popped up. That'll find its way to the netting here at the Invista Complex. Matter of fact, Lejatis has scored the only run of the day for the Frontenac Lady Raiders. And it was an infield single that she reached on in the third and then came in to score on the sac bunt by Alana Sullivan. She's trying to do the same here, looking to set the table with 1 down. The 2-1 pitch. It's a slap hit. That'll find its way to Addison Rohr. The throw to first in time to get the speedy Lejatis. And it's 2 down for Lexi Jacobson and Southeast of Saline here in the 5th. Alana Sullivan will be the next to bat here for Frontenac. Sullivan so far today 0 for 2, but again does have the RBI. Drove in the only run of the day for the Lady Raiders on the sac bunt. Here gets one that's off the mid of Jacobson. Picked up by Potachik. Throw to first. They're going to say not in time. And it's going to be an infield single, and they're going to overrule that at home. And I have to agree with Kathy Singles. Sullivan looked out at first. That is the ruling. And now Coach Rooms wants to come over and have a word about that. But I think what you're hearing right now from Kathy Singles, she had the better look at the courtesy bag, and that will end the 5th inning. To the 6th we go. Southeast up 2-1. It's quarterfinal coverage here on Salina Post, and it's brought to you by our friends at the Bennington State Bank.
Gabe with Sage Products in Salina, offering industrial strength products that get the job done right. We are featuring hospital-grade disinfectant sprays, wipes, and hand sanitizers to keep you safe this time of year. We carry toilet paper with a large assortment of hand towels. Check out our private line of colorful products like Mom's Streak-Free Glass Cleaner or our friendly Amazing Green Bowl Cleaner. Go online to sageselects.com, visit our 9th Street location in Salina, or call 309-1919.
Your next visit to the doctor for an upcoming procedure or surgery should start with a conversation about Salina Surgical Hospital. Hi, this is Geraldine Diedrich, and we are truly committed to fostering your health and well-being. From outpatient procedures to inpatient stays, you will feel the difference in our excellent care and compassion. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your next procedure at Salina Surgical Hospital. Your surgical experience is our specialty. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local, community-involved physicians.
For the 3rd time today, it'll be the heart of the order, due up to lead off an inning for Southeast of Saline. Brenna Baird, Kimber Ogerzolka, and Abby Wyatt to face off against Avery Johnson for a 3rd time today. Johnson has been just as unhittable as she always is. She has only given up 3 singles, a double, and then a sac bunt that dropped in 2 runs. She has struck out 12 through the first 5 innings, but Southeast holding that 2-1 lead on the scoreboard, and you get the feeling it might only take 3 or 4 runs for either of these 2 teams to win this game here today. Southeast, of course, as the 6th seed, they are the visitors. Frontenac, though, down to their final 6 outs. They've got to be careful. 1-1 pitch to Brenna Baird. That's going to get down in front of Sullivan, whose glove flip is just in time to catch Baird running down the line, and it is 1 away for Frontenac. That is a big out to record. A little surprised that Sullivan didn't come in and try to catch that in the air. But she let it bounce in front of her, made the play over at first, and it will bring up Kimber Ogerzolka, who, like Baird before her, is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. First pitch in for a called strike. Johnson right back to the well with the fastball. Boy, it was awfully cloudy. It was awfully dark for a couple of innings, but the sun coming back out here in Topeka. 0-1 pitch from Johnson. Big swing and a miss. Gets Ogre Zolka to chase upstairs, and the count goes to 0-2. Do not have the individual game-by-game numbers this year, but if this keeps up for Avery Johnson, she may set a new career high in single-game strikeouts, and why not? She'll add another 13 strikeouts on the day for Avery Johnson, and it's 2 down for Southeast of Saline for Abby Wyatt. Every team that has faced Abby Wyatt this year in the postseason has been wishing they hadn't. Wyatt, crazy to think, she's the 6-hole hitter. Her numbers have been good, but compared to some of the bats in front of her, they've not been spectacular this year. And she, almost picks up her 3rd straight single of the day, but instead it's right into the glove of Sullivan over at first, and it's a quick 3-up, 3-down inning for the Frontenac Lady Raiders, who are down to their final 6 outs when we return. Coverage of Southeast of Saline's state tournament run brought to you by Assyria Oil and Hardware and the Blake family.
Opus Plasma Skin Resurfacing at Salina Medical Aesthetics is similar to traditional laser skin treatments. It uses thermal energy to produce anti-aging results as opposed to traditional laser energy. There's minimal downtime, and each session only takes about 45 minutes. Most patients see a noticeable difference with just one procedure. Treat moderate to deep wrinkles, fine lines, sagging skin, rough patches, poor skin tone, and sunspots. Opus is a fantastic treatment for anti-aging. For a free consultation, contact Salina Medical Aesthetics and learn more at salinamedesthetics.org.
Springtime is here and we're on the go. Visit Commercial Tire Center and get ready to roll. We're driving more and more and getting ready for springtime activities. From the smallest lawnmower tires to passenger tires, farm tires, and the largest truck tires. Call Commercial Tire for repairs that aren't tire related. Our automotive and diesel mechanics will fix it right the first time. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
Back here in Topeka, Kansas, it's the 3A state softball tournament, the quarterfinal round, and we have been treated to some of the best it has to offer. A 2-1 lead for Southeast of Saline. Frontenac looking to get themselves back even with the Lady Trojans. All 3 runs came back in the 3rd inning on 2 sacrifice bunts. Southeast of Saline took a risk. They rolled the dice, sending Lexi Jacobson around third base. She barely got under the tag, but right now that run represents the difference as this ball is yanked foul by the 3-hole hitter of Frontenac. For the Lady Raiders, Annie Lee, Abby Beeman, and Avery Johnson are your 3 due up here, trying to get something started, trying to make some noise against Lexi Jacobson, who has given up just the 1 run of her own when Maddie Lejatis came in to score on an Alana Sullivan RBI sac fly. Almost straightening that out enough for a hit. I think we're going to see Addison Rohr start to play that line just a little bit tighter near the third base bag as Annie Lee trying to straighten it out. But again, Lexi Jacobson, I think, understands how good this lineup is. She has not been trying to overpower anybody. She's not been trying to hunt down crazy amounts of strikeouts. She is doing her best just to get some weak contact, as I think we might have something in the eye of Annie Lee. Had the helmet on, I think gave her protection from any foul tips and whatnot, but of course on a day like today, you never know. Eye black, sweat, anything like that can get in there and cause some problems. This is also a matchup between 2 of the best coaches in Class 3A. We've talked all season long with Pesha Potacek, Southeast of Saline's head coach, but again, had a great conversation with Cassie Rooms. 17th year head coach at Frontenac, has led the Lady Raiders to all 3 of their state championships, including one 2 years ago in 2022. She also led them to a title in 2019 and 2016. 0-2 taken up to short, picked up by Potacek. A little bit awkward, but in time for the first out of the inning. And Southeast of Saline starting to count them down, but trying to be careful with arguably the most dangerous bat in the lineup coming to the plate. Abby Beeman today reached on a walk back in the second, hit one to the deepest part of the ballpark, but not deep enough, flew out to center back in the 3rd. The Lady Raider lefty stands in, takes the first pitch for a called ball at the letters. Count begins at 1-0. Beeman, I know I keep saying it, it's still insane to me. Slugging .917, 49 driven in on the year, 5 home runs. Takes ball 2, and the count goes to 2-0. here on the Lady Raider cleanup hitter. Beeman trying to, at the very least, get herself aboard. She represents the tying run, takes a pitch low in the dirt. Petachik backing up Jacobson here. Jacobson falling behind 3-0. I would imagine Beeman going to be taking here, but if there's one batter in the order that has the green light on 3-0, it might be Abby Beeman. But she will take. Cautious play there, but a wise one. You don't want to turn down a free walk if you're going to be given one, and now the neon green light is going to be flicked on for Abby Beeman to swing away. Some of the biggest pitches for Lexi Jacobson all season long right here. The 3-1. Good drop ball, but it catches or misses the inside corner, and for the second time today, Abby Beeman is aboard with a walk, this time with one down for Avery Johnson. Boy, you want to talk about a great opportunity to help your own cause here. Avery Johnson has been borderline perfect in the circle today, save for a couple of hits and a sacrifice bunt. She's got a chance to help her team get even here once again. So far today, 0 for 2, a pop out to third, and a ground out to short. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. Jacobson is ahead. In case you weren't with us earlier, again, southeast of Saline, rocking the purple pinstripe jerseys, black and white, offsetting here for Frontenac, and a ball that's going to be lifted out to left field. JC Berghardt on her horse will make the catch. 2 down for the Lady Trojans here in the 6th. It's just going to go down as an F7. Nothing spectacular, but I'll tell you what, the speed of southeast of Saline's outfield has saved them a couple of times already. Avery Kinkelar had to make a really good play out and right as well. And it now falls to Tenley Sullivan, the very batter, by the way, who hit that ball to Kinkelar. She is going to hit this. It's going to be off the glove here, picked up awkwardly. I think electing, to just eat this is Addison Rohr. That, though, is the right decision. That's going to go down as an infield single, I'm fairly certain. But if you're Addison Rohr, you don't make a bad situation worse and try to rush that throw to first base. That said, here comes Skylar Hutchinson. I think Hutchinson hasn't been waiting for a moment like this her whole career. Hutchinson, I mentioned before, one of the 2 bats in this order with 5 home runs on the season. Right now, just trying to tie this game up. And she is going to smack one into left. Berghardt comes in, picks it up. Runners coming to the plate. The cutoff is there. They will pump fake the throw, but we are tied. Skylar Hutchinson with an RBI single into left field, and it's a 2-2 ball game here in the 6th. Frontenac with 2 away might not be done yet, and here comes Coach Petachik. Abby Beeman, there was never a doubt in the mind of Coach Rooms. They were going to send her around. Aggressiveness on the base paths, paying dividends for both teams. And the RBI going to be credited to Hutchinson. Because Southeast cut it off, Tenley Sullivan has to hold up at second, and I still feel like that is probably the better play for Southeast of Saline there, because now the tying run is not 60 feet away, but is still in scoring position with good speed, represented by Tenley Sullivan. Frontenac starting to put it together here in the 6th, trying to come back. First pitch taken up the right side. Adams picks it up, throws to first, and that will stop the 6th inning, but not before Frontenac evens this ball game. It is a 2-2 contest here in the quarterfinal round as we go to the 7th inning here on Salina Post. Back with more when we return. Coverage of today's game brought to you by our friends at Assyria Oil and Hardware.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Topeka Invista Softball Complex, southeast of Saline. The first team to go to the bench here, Kiki Riedel, will stand in. She will take her first at-bat of the postseason. As southeast of Saline concedes a run in the bottom of the sixth, we are tied going into the seventh, but perhaps not the final inning of this game. Southeast just looking to get one more run on the board, just needing to get 3 more outs, but they've got to find a way to get it against Avery Johnson, who has been as close to unhittable as unhittable gets. All of the damage she gave up came back in the third inning. It came on a double and a sacrifice bunt. Aside from that, she has struck out 13 batters. She has not allowed a base runner since back in the 5th inning. Riedel will foul this away. The count goes even at a ball and a strike. Southeast of Saline trying to get their own speedster on. Matter of fact, if they can get anybody in the bottom of the order here up, they're going to have good speed aboard. Avery Kinkelar and J.C. Berghardt, the next two to bat here for SES. But the Frontenac hurler has been on her game. Avery Johnson gets a pop-up here, charging over to make the catch is Sullivan. And it's an infield pop-up for Frontenac to start off the 7th, 1 down for the Lady Raiders. So Avery Kinkelar will come to bat now, the right fielder today, 0 for 2, with a ground out back to the pitcher and a strikeout back in the 4th. Matter of fact, aside from Abby Wyatt, every single member of this order for southeast of Saline has struck out at least once. You look at Avery Johnson's rap sheet here today. She's gotten Harris twice, Patachik 3 times, Baird twice, Ogerzolka 3 times. This is not a southeast order that strikes out often, but today they have met their match. They've done enough, though, to manufacture some runs. They're looking to manufacture one more. You hear the groans of the southeast crowd there. They thought that might have been outside, but the count goes to 0-2. And that just shows Johnson's propensity for painting the corners. 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. 14 strikeouts as Avery Kinkelar becomes the 14th victim, and it's 2 down for J.C. Berghardt. With that said, if there's one player that's been causing a little chaos today for southeast of Saline, it is J.C. Berghardt, who has reached twice and scored once without the aid of a single hit or a walk. She was able to reach base on the 6th strikeout of the day. It was a dropped 3rd strike back in the 3rd inning, and she reached on an error back in the 5th. Southeast not going to be reliant upon the long ball to save them here. Again, on the season, only 3 home runs for SES all year long. 1-0 pitch, hit well. That's going to eat up Sullivan. She's a foot race now to the bag, but it's one she'll win easily. And the Frontenac Lady Raiders get a 3-up, 3-down inning. They're going to give themselves a chance to walk this off when we come back. Southeast of Saline looking to force extras. Coverage of playoff softball from the 3A state tournament. Brought to you by the Bennington State Bank. Back with more when we return.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Salina is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits, APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
For over 90 years, when people go car shopping, they've been coming to Marshall Motors in Salina. Hi, this is Dane at Marshall Motors. The world has changed, but the way we do business remains the same. We promise you the right price, no pressure, and to be your trusted dealership for sales and service. For over 90 years, we've been treating people the way we want to be treated and watching them drive away with a smile and a great ride. Come see us in South Salina at Marshall Motors. We keep life moving.
9-1-2 coming to bat for the Lady Raiders. A chance to walk it off into the semifinal round, and the Lady Raider faithful on their feet. Fans of both of these teams, matter of fact, fans of 7 of the 8 teams at this year's state tournament have not watched their teams lose often. Frontenac comes in at 25-2. One of those 2 losses came to the 6A state champions in Arkansas. 0-1 from Jacobson, hit down the line. That's going to be Ella Sullivan reaching base here. It's going to be a single, and the 9-hole hitter is aboard with all her speed. She represents the game-winning run for the Frontenac Lady Raiders. That is a huge hit for Ella Sullivan, who, by the way, that is her 16th hit of the season. She is far and away the lowest hit getter in this lineup, and now a little huddle is going to be had as the top of the order is coming to bat now. Maddie Lejatis, Alana Sullivan, and Annie Lee. We spoke with Coach Rooms before this game began. She said, expecting runs to come at a premium. This may be where we see Frontenac start to try to manufacture runs with a little small ball. And now, southeast of Saline has an assistant coach out trying to chat with our home plate umpire, Kathy Singles. So we'll see if Lejatis tries to lay down a bunt. Lejatis today, an infield single and a run scored, 1 for 3, a pop out to Maddie Harris, and a ground out to third base. And there it is. It's the bunt picked up by Jacobson. Throw to first in time. That is what Frontenac wanted. The sac bunt for Lejatis is going to move the runner 60 feet, and that dangerous Ella Sullivan now in scoring position with only 1 out. Alana Sullivan today, 0 for 3, a pop out, a ground out, and a sac bunt that brought in a run. First pitch to her, misses high for a ball. Jacobson gonna have to settle back in. Again, all the Frontenac folks in attendance today are on their feet. Jacobson digs back in. Sullivan back at the plate. The 1-0 pitch. It's going to be a slap hit down the line. Picked up. Southeast gets 1. They throw to third. It's stopped there by Addison Rohr. But another out. Traded for 60 feet of real estate. And now Annie Lee with a chance to walk this off for Frontenac. Southeast of Saline, trying desperately to record an out and send this game to extras. Annie Lee this season, 27 runs driven in, looking for the 28th and biggest, arguably, of her career. Lee today, 0 for 2, a walk, a pop out, and a ground out. Southeast of Saline with the corners back. They know they need just 1 more out. Jacobson looking over for... And we got some kind of a dispute right now between the coaches and the home plate umpire about something. Not sure what this is about. I think Coach Potacek might be wanting to walk. Yeah, so this is an intentional walk issued to Annie Lee. And if I know anything, they're going to intentionally walk Abby Beeman too. I don't see any way that they're going to let Abby Beeman take an at bat here, and yeah, they will. So it's an intentional walk of Annie Lee. It's an intentional walk of Abby Beeman, and it's a little chess match right now for Pesha Potacek, but it brings up Avery Johnson with a chance to record the win both as the pitcher and on a walk-off as the hitter. You could not ask for more drama here in Topeka. Bases loaded, 2 down, bottom of the 7th, tie ball game, and a ball lifted out to right field. Charging over, unable to make the catch, is Avery Kinkelar. And the Frontenac Lady Raiders are going to walk it off into the semifinal round tomorrow. Avery Johnson, the hero of the hour for Frontenac. And a wonderful season for Southeast of Saline comes to an end in the quarterfinal round. We will step away one last time, but we will have some post-game coverage for you on the other side of the break. Your final from Frontenac, 3-2, here in the state quarterfinal, southeast of Saline Falls, here in Topeka.
When does normal acute pain become abnormal chronic pain? Chronic pain can be one of two types, nociceptive and neuropathic. Each type differs based on what causes it, what it feels like, and what treatments may relieve it. Neuropathic pain can often be managed by a therapy called neurostimulation or spinal cord stimulation. If you suffer from chronic pain, ask your primary care physician for a referral to the Saline Pain Clinic. Our pain specialist will discuss the right options to manage your pain. Online at salinapainclinic.org.
Gabe with Sage Products in Salina, offering industrial strength products that get the job done right. We are featuring hospital grade disinfectant sprays, wipes, and hand sanitizers to keep you safe this time of year. We carry toilet paper with a large assortment of hand towels. Check out our private line of colorful products like Mom's Streak-Free Glass Cleaner or our friendly Amazing Green Bowl Cleaner. Go online to sageselects.com, visit our 9th Street location in Salina, or call 309-1919.
Welcome back in one final time here to the Topeka Invista Softball Complex. The final of our quarterfinal games officially in the books, and the Frontenac Lady Raiders moving on with a 3-2 victory over the southeast of Saline Lady Trojans. It was a delightful game from start to finish. It had high drama, it had late scoring, and it had a walk-off hit for Avery Johnson, who will collect the win as today's starting pitcher. She is able to get one just beyond the outstretched glove of Kinkelar and Wyatt out in right center field to bring in Ella Sullivan to score. For southeast of Saline, the season is going to come to an end at 22-4 for Frontenac. They move to 26-2. They will play Wichita Trinity in the semifinals tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I want to say a special thank you to a couple of good folks here. Of course, to today's presenting sponsors, both Bennington State Bank and Asteria Oil and Hardware. Also to Keith and Lori Blake of the Blake family. Also want to say a special thank you to everybody who tuned in here today. We are blessed to provide coverage of games like this, and whether you're a fan of southeast of Saline, a fan of Frontenac, or just a fan of some high school softball, want to say a special thank you to you for tuning in with us here on a Thursday evening. That will just about wrap it up here for us, but one last time for Olivia Bergmeyer, producing, engineering, and operating our camera, I have been Tyler Henry. Southeast of Saline falls to Frontenac. Your final from Topeka, 3-2. The Lady Raiders able to squeak out the victory. That'll do it for us. This has been coverage of southeast of Saline Lady Trojan softball at the 3A state tournament, and it's been presented by Bennington State Bank and Asteria Oil and Hardware.